Okay, it seems like we are live now. So, hi folks. Today, as we continue on our SoundSpite recorder, today we'll be working on the part where we fix the type issues that we have with TypeScript since we turned off the strict typing, and also I want to look at this thing where we look at an alternate format for storing files. And yeah, we'll figure out what we'll work on as we go along, but then these are the primary two things I want to work on, starting with the fixing the type errors that are there in the application. So I have the application open here. Let's start by running npm run build, which runs the type checker. So this besides like doing a production build for the next application, it will also do a I think like it does a TypeScript check without outputting a build as such. So at this stage it's the strict typing is disabled, so we'll have to enable it. Yeah, it worked just fine, but then let's enable strict type checking here. So now that this is enabled, let's run it again. Let's see what this gives us back. I think there should be some warning, some errors. Yeah, immediately we get that like parameter byte implicitly has any type. We can't do a watch, I think. Let's see, like if we can do like npx tsc dash config ts config. I don't know like whether it takes a ts. Yeah, I don't know like whether it takes a configuration parameter, but I think let me just do this. I don't think we have includes directory or includes option defined in the ts config, but let's see. Okay, I think we are getting a bunch of warnings which are related. Yeah, this is helpful. So let's see like if we can do a watch on this. So this can run in parallel, and I can fix issues. So let me first close this, start a new tmux session. Let's call it bytes, right? Okay, now let's run the compiler. Let's okay, rather than splitting or like creating a new tmux window, let's split vertically. Yeah, and then what if I go to the bytes file? Okay, so immediately we get these errors, right? So the first error that we see is related to next auth. I want to deal with at the very end because like it's a package, so there would be a lot of work, but I think we can get like some quick wins with other things, right? So if I jump to bytes, first of all, where is byte? Like am I going the other way? This is headers, next auth, all of this is next auth. Where is bytes? Yeah, here we have, right? So it says no, this is admin, this is session. Yeah, here we have it, right? Like tsx bytes.tsx. Let's make it bigger. We don't need it this wide. I think this should be fine, right? So I have bytes open here. So bytes here is typed. So what is it complaining about? It's on line 40. Yeah, right over here. Yep. So this would be typed as byte I think that should be it. Yeah, and that's all in this file. So this error is fixed. Then if we go to header.tsx, right? So header.tsx, so we have it it doesn't know what session would be, and it doesn't know what loading would be, right? So let's define session here. Actually I'm not really sure what session is, so let's start the server. Let's see what kind of data we are getting, and then from there we can figure it out. So let's do localhost 3000. Okay, Yeah, so immediately we get some errors. I think this is just due to, might be due to environment variables, I don't know, but let's see. Let's source them and then run the server again. If I come over here and refresh, I am logged out, so I do need to log in to see the sessions and what the value is there. But yeah, I'm getting the details here and I'm logged in as well. So I think like because the secret for GitHub was missing, that's why it couldn't resolve my user early on. So if I go to, I think home would have it, yeah. So it has a expires, which is a string, is authorized as a boolean, user is an object with 3 strings, and then there's a user ID. Okay, so let's build this. So we'll call it yeah, I've used interface and types, like not really thinking like which one I should use. I think like I'll just default to interfaces. So we'll say like, or let's do, actually yeah, I do want to use TypeScript interfaces. Actually, let's just check one thing quickly, something that I want to validate. So I just want to look at the function signature. There's a read only as well. There's a, okay, where the key is undefined or like unnamed, so that's good. And this is the function type. Doesn't have an arrow, so is it really a function? It does take 2 parameters and it's in a parent, so I think like it's a function. From what I remember, like a function type has a arrow and all of that, but okay, that's fine. So let's go back here. Let's define our interface for session, right? This would be, so we have a expires, which is a string, and then we have is authorized, which is a string, and similarly we have a user. So this has a name, which is a string. It has email, which is a string, and then we also have, what else do we have? Image, right? So this is a string as well. And then what other properties do we have? We have a user ID. User ID, this is again going to be a string. So this all looks good. Loading I think would just be a boolean, so I think the way we can type it out is or let's do like something like this, right? So yeah, I think it's fine, like we don't need to define another type, just is more work for us, and it doesn't add a lot of value. So this would be like session would be a session, and then loading would be boolean. I think that should make it happy. Let's look at it while I sort of zoom in. So if am I looking at all the logs? Yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell. This file doesn't have any issues besides this thing, the client having these functions, but I think we can come back, like we discussed, like we'll come back to them at the very end. It's difficult to tell like where it starts from, so let me just run it again. So it's starting now. Okay, if I scroll up, So the first error that we are getting in the header is this one. So header is fine. Then we go to app.tsx, but then the same thing we see here is that like we have this provider which is coming from Nextauth, so that should be fine. Then in admin we have the same thing here for the client, and then in admin we have this byte and then set updated, which isn't typed, right? So let's go there. So this would be admin.tsx. So here we are taking byte. We know byte is just a byte, so byte would be byte I, and set updated is any for a second, right? Before I sort of fix it. Why is it still okay? Spelled it wrong. Right, so this is fine now as well. I set it to any because I want to see like what is the type React creates for it. So if we go to index, so yeah, we can figure it out from here. So set uploading, maybe from this we can figure out like it's a React dispatch, a React set state action string, right? So dispatch set state actions and then whatever the type is. So if we go let me, I completely lost track, like dispatch and set state action. Okay, dispatch and state action. Okay, so this is react.dispatch and react.set state action, and then within this it's a very specific type that is based on the default value it's declared with. So this is set updated, right? And where is set updated declared? So if we search for it, set updated, this is defined in here and its default value is null, right? So it's a bit difficult to tell what it would be, but from here I think we can sort of type it out in a way that we say like this would be a string, for example, right? So if I now look at the types here, it would say like a string or undefined, because it's undefined because like the default value is empty. But let's see like what are the values that can be set to updated, right? So I think it would always be a even though we are setting a mat.random here. Oh, okay, yeah, the reason why we are using it is just to trigger a re-render. So I think like mat.random, if you look at it, right, like this would return a number, I guess. So it shouldn't be a string, it should actually be a number here, and yeah, that should be it. So if we go back to, are we on admin already? 7, right? So yeah, so here why, okay, so let's set this here. Let's make it number. Okay, so I think like that error should have been fixed now. So if we search for the admin file in here, admin, we have a few errors. So let's scroll up. So the first error in admin is the next client, and after that we have immediately this. So this error is fixed, which is good. So here we have a like a undefined event, and the reason why it's undefined is because like it doesn't know like what the value of E is, right? So it's on form. So form is defined as a HTML form element. So this would be I think like HTML submit event or something like that. HTML submit or like event. What is the type for it? I don't remember. Okay, we'll have to look it up. I'm not really sure. So I'll say like React events TypeScript. So by the way, this blog is quite helpful. This has documented, like I found like a lot of things related to TypeScript and React have been documented in this, so quite handy there. Okay, so there is like mouse events, and then you can pass in a event, sort of like the source of the event, and so that you can abstract out all the details from the event. It's basically like a generic, and then you pass it a specific value there. So but then we want to be a little bit more verbose, so let's check for okay. So synthetic event, but then yeah, it's called form event. I think form event alone should be sufficient. So what if we do a react.form event, right? So this is a generic. What if we do HTML form element? Yeah. We just need to import, I think, this bit, form event, or we don't really need to do it because React is already imported. So let's do form event. So yeah, that imports it. Now why are these complaining? So it says that type form control collection is not an array. An array type or string type use. Okay, so what does it provide us? Let's see, because like it is a form element, so it's saying that it's a syntactic event where there's an event target, and it identifies it as a like HTML form element, and then it returns target and a HTML form element. So does it have this property? Okay, so it says that it returns HTML form control collection. So what if for a second, if I do this, no, so right, so if we have this A, we have this method on it called items, but it returns value based on index, so this is not helpful. What else can we do here? What does this give us back? Okay, we can pass it a name, right? Okay, and then item is also a function. So, and I think it might be a generator, right? So if I do like a something like this, what does this return back? Does this give us, okay, why is okay, yeah, so we do need to enable this down level iteration. So let's do that. Let's enable or uncomment this, and then go to our tsconfig. Let's add this option here. Let's say down level iteration, and then this would be true. So if we go back here, why is it still throwing? Okay, so name is declared and not used. So how is that? Okay, I think yeah, I think we didn't change this file, so this is fine. So what had actually happened is that we were storing the form state, so we don't actually need it really, because we are pulling it from the form right here. So let's get rid of this altogether, but we did get to learn a little bit about a thing called HTML form control collection. I didn't know really about this before, so it's good to learn. Okay, let's now make this bigger, and let's take a look at what else do we need to address within admin. I think we can just use Vim to tell us Where is our Vim control actually right now? Oh, my bad. I was in the Twitch chat. But yeah, okay, coming back here. So I think we can do something like, again, where is the cursor? Right here. Okay, so if I do something like this, yeah, it tells me that set updated has some issues, and then what else? And besides this is an issue. Headers has an issue. Set updated has an issue. Okay, so let's move to the next one, which is set updated. It says that it can be undefined. Dispatch a number is number or undefined is not assignable to type dispatch set. Okay, yeah, it's saying that like so we are passing this value, right? So to this, like, we are sort of passing this prop to form, and it's asking like whether it would be present or not. What if I do like an exclamation mark saying that like yes, it would be, but I think like it's still not satisfied. So let's see like why it thinks that this function might not be there, right? So the type we have set on this says that this would always be present. That is its expectation. And then if I go over here, it says it can be number or undefined. The reason being that it doesn't have any initial value. So let's start with 0, and yeah, it's fine now, right? So because like initially it was undefined, and then we are telling it that it can be a number, so it's a mix of, like, it's a union of two types. Okay, just a second. Okay, so let's move to the next error that we are getting. So the next error that we are getting is with headers. Header says that type cookie can be a string or undefined. It's not assignable to type. Okay, it says like type cookie being a string or undefined is not assignable to type headers or string array, or like a two-dimensional array or record of string or strings or undefined. Type cookie string or undefined is not assignable to undefined. Okay, that is confusing to say the least, but let's take a look. So let's take a look at the types that fetch wants. It wants input, it wants, okay, so I think init request is not something that we are doing. Request init, okay, this actually, I think, yeah, this is the one that actually we are passing it, right? It's taking body, cache, credentials and headers. So let's take a look at what header init takes in. So this takes in a headers or a two-dimensional string array, right? So but yeah, let's take a look at headers. What is the type for that? So header, which one should we take a look at? I don't know what's the difference between the two. Let's open the second one, I guess. Okay, so it has all of this, but yeah, there's also this headers declaration which has, okay, this is just headers. Okay, it's a bit confusing. So it takes in a record of string. So what are we passing it here, right? So we are passing it cookie. It does work fine. So, and where's the error now? Okay, here it is. It says that cookie string or undefined, it's not assignable to headers. Okay, why does it think that this bit can be okay? Okay, let's do this, or like let's just tell it that the value would always be a string for this key, right? So I think like the error went away. Yeah, there's just one error, and the reason why this worked, right, is because like the type it takes in, it doesn't really take like a string and string or undefined. It just takes string and string. So that is something we fixed. We just have this next auth error. We'll come back to this. Right now, scrolling back up, yeah, it's difficult to tell, so let's clear the screen once more and see like which file do we want to move on to next. Okay. Okay. Scrolling back up, next we have header, but it just has this thing. App just has next auth as well. Same for admin, and same for delete, same for fetch. Okay, let's look at fetch. There is some ambiguity here. Yeah, I think this is the th. For now we'll just do a ts ignore, or actually we have already done it, have we? Okay, yeah, it has an issue because would this work? Apparently it does. How about that? That seems to have worked. And then what else is there on fetch, right? So I think like all the fetch errors were related to this. Yeah, and I think like we'll address this as well. So, but let's come back to that later on. Okay, we have a headers issue here as well. So let's go to index. Let's search for header. Why do we have headers on this page? Oh, there's a request here, right? So same thing here as well. Like we are not really sure if there are cookies or not. So in case there aren't, we'll just do like empty string, right? So this matches the interface for the headers. What else are there? Like I think we are just mostly left with the ts ignores that we have done, and also the next auth client. That is pretty much it, so we can work on those now. Okay, I'm not sure why the compiler is so slow, but yeah, it's taking a while. So let's start it again. Oh, I have some updates, but I'll do this later, not during the stream. Okay, let's see. Next auth. All of this is next auth. So there are issues related to JWT and client. So let's start with JWT. I think like these are simpler because like there's just like one thing that we are pulling from JWT. So let's look at the first one that we are getting, which is this one, it's in delete. Okay, so here we are getting that like this isn't typed. It says couldn't find the declaration file for module next auth JWT blah blah blah. JWT implicitly has any type, and then if it exists, so this doesn't exist from what we checked last time, but we'll check again, and then also if it exists adds a new declaration, right? So let's check if next auth has been published by chance, and then if in case it isn't, we do this, we declare a module, right? So if I do, I think like we can do npm info, it's called next auth, right? So we'll do at types, so we don't have anything there, right? So just give me a second. Yeah, so since we don't have this, we will probably have to do it ourselves, like create the types for it. Right, so yeah, that's how it's going to be.
I have not implemented anything yet.
Sorry about that. Also, let me pull this up. Let's go to sound. I think like my sound input is incorrect. Okay. We say okay. Yeah. So back to where we were. So yeah. So since there are no types for it, we'll have to do them ourselves. And the way it defines it is like, or the way it tells us to do it is like, just declare a module called nextauth JWT. So let's do that, and we already have a file for it, right? So we have nextenv. We can do like a based on the error. I think like we can find the hint here as well. Like it says, does it say? Yeah. No, actually no, it doesn't say it here. But yeah, it did mention like declare a module called nextauth /JWT, right? And so this is fine. Now we want to take a look at what actually we are importing from this, right? So that is something we want to figure out as well. And what we were importing is let's take a look at delete. Actually, am I on the right window though? Now I am. So going back here, okay, yeah, now you see like immediately it's not throwing an error here because it knows like JWT is linking to this bit. So I think that's fine. Now it doesn't know whether there's a get token or not. So right now it isn't, so we need to define this. So let's go here, let's do export let get token. Let's just do this. What does this tell us? It can't figure it out right now. Okay, no, actually it can, but let's see what's the error that it's throwing. Just a second. Yep. Okay, so what's the error that it's throwing, or is it throwing any error for that matter? So it should throw some errors. Yeah, it says that it's implicitly any. And why is this here? Okay, no, that shouldn't be it. We should see the type here. So it says it's any, so that shouldn't be something that it should be happy with. Let me close all of this. Let's open it again. Let's open delete. They should throw some errors. I was hoping for that. It shouldn't be. Okay, is my Vim stuck? For a second it was. Yeah, it does take a second to sort of figure out things, but let's see again. Yeah, it says any. We are not okay with any, so let's run the compiler once and then see what the error is. All right. Okay, what do we have? Just a second. Yeah, so looking at this, we want to look at there's nothing related to delete here, right? Like it seems like all the JWT get token errors are gone, but yeah, I'm not really happy with this because like if I sort of try to see, oh no, this is how, okay, yeah, but I'm not really sure, like this is sort of figuring out the types, but then if I do like a JWT get token, right, so it doesn't know like what inputs to take in it, so that's the problem. Yeah, so let's do this. What should we do in this case? Yeah, let's type it out right here. So let's do, okay, let's open it in parallel. The next file right here, this is right now what does this return? This returns a token, right? So token is again an object, so we'll see like what the token is. But say, let's say like it can be key of string and a value of string, so it can be anything, so it's very any like yeah, here it's throwing error saying that 0 argument expected 0 arguments but got 1, so which is good. Now we'll define the arguments here, saying that it takes in a request, and the other thing that it takes in is a secret we know is a string. It's a lowercase string. It takes in a next API request, but actually no, it doesn't take that. If we look at the, yeah, so this is what we want, right? Like it extends the incoming request, and what is this? This is this an, yeah, it's a HTTP incoming request, right? So what type is this? I think it is at types node. That is what it is, from what I'm guessing. But let's see. So what if we do HTTP? Yeah, actually let's do this, right? Like let's see like how next is importing it, and we can import it in a similar way. I wish it didn't do that, but okay. So we want to open this. Yeah, let's see like how they are importing it. Yeah, they're doing this, right? So incoming message, right? So does server response have it? No, it's incoming messages. Let's see again. I want to look at next API request, right? So this is something where it extends incoming message actually, right? So this would be import from at types node, and then from this import incoming message, maybe. Let's see. It, okay, this is importing from HTTP, not from okay. It does reference node types here, right? So I am a bit confused actually, but let's see. Is it still throwing errors? It should, because like this is incomplete, right? So right here it should throw errors. Going to the very bottom, it says, okay, let's complete this and let's post that. See what is the status here. So this would be incoming message. We could make it like a next thing, because like we are specifically passing it a next API request. But let's see, throwing errors or not. I think it should be fine. Let's restart this. Go over here. Let's close this. Let's go back to delete. Right. I think it's okay now. There's an error here. It says that JWT thing is not found altogether. How come that is not working when it was working earlier? Okay, let's go to next env file again. The JWT is defined here. We have defined the get token. It takes in a request, it takes in a secret, and it returns a token we haven't typed out yet, but I think that should be fine. Let's see. It says declare a module called next auth JWT, right? So we have done exactly that here. Let's restart film. Maybe the compiler isn't picking up these updates. So closing up everything and then opening delete again. Let's see. Right now it's not complaining, but to be fair, I'm not really sure whether it knows what it should be doing. Okay, it says, yeah, I think I'm not sure. Like, I think, yeah, it's throwing the error now. So yeah, it's not really happy with this. So let's open next the definition file. All of it looks fine to me. We are declaring a module called next auth. Let's comment this out again and do a export let get token. Alright, so close this, open, delete again. Let's see. Yeah, it's throwing errors, still throwing errors. How about we restart the compiler? Maybe, I don't know what it would have to do with it, but yeah, I just want to check and make sure that it's not the problem at all. Okay, yeah, we are still getting this. Yeah, we have already done that, so I'm not sure what changed recently. Let me get rid of this import. Maybe that might be the reason, who knows. Okay, yeah, you see, like, immediately that goes away, so that certainly was the problem. What if we do this? What does it tell us? That await has no expression. Okay, yeah, so this would actually return a promise, right? So promise, so we can wrap this in a promise, say that like this is what it returns. Now await is fine with that, right? Because this returns back a promise, so we are awaiting that promise. So what we get in return is this thing. So this thing is fine. I'm not sure about this better. Like, so if I do JWT dot get token is okay. Okay, I think it was able to infer the types because we have done this next. Right, it doesn't need this bit, right? So we can get rid of this, I think. Let's try that again. A request. Right, so what is the type of request? Did that go away again? So it says like request is any, secret is any. Okay, that is not what we want, right? So what we bring that back again. JWT.getToken. Yeah, now it's again working. I'm wondering, maybe it's because of this bit, or is it something else? Because it says here that request incoming message, secret incoming message maps to request any and string any. How does that work? Why are there two interfaces? Okay, yeah, here we are seeing, right, like it's an incoming message and string, but then okay, I actually need to look at a sample for this, so let's take a look at TypeScript declare module. So let's take a look at that to see what we actually get from it. I'm not really sure. Okay, I do have the book here, the TypeScript book, so let me reference this as well, so I do have it handy right with me. I can quickly look at how to define the modules. So here are modules, we declare, then we can define an interface within it as well, but I think like it's just a function, right? We don't really need an interface, and I don't think there's an example. Okay, no, there's an example for it. We just do an export function that takes in parameters, and okay, yeah, I think like this colon is unnecessary here, so I think we need to get rid of this. I think that might be it, who knows. And do we need the arrow functions? I think we don't need the arrow functions, we just need a colon here instead. Yeah, something like this. And we don't need a semicolon either. So, but now it's throwing errors saying that it expected something and it didn't get that. So yeah, what is the issue? Get token expected a comma, got a paren. So okay, yeah, I see what the issue is. So it should be a function rather than a get token. Okay, so now if we go back here, I think like the problem with incoming message would still be there, but this is fine, I think. Or is there some? I think like there's some. No, I think it's fine. On this end, let's try like what kind of typings do we get. So if we do like jwt.getToken, what does it tell us, right? Like, so it knows that even for secret it says any, right, which is confusing. How come? Right, so if I do like request and we'll give it request a, and then also secret would be a. What does it tell us, right? So it tells us a is not defined. So what if we assign const a is equal to 1 2 3? So let's see what the error it gives us, right? So right now it's not doing any type checking because a request it says that it can be any at all, and the signature here also says that a request and secret can be any, so that is not really helpful. Okay, just a second. So this I'm not sure about, like why this string is an any secret, right? So yeah, again here it's telling us that request and secret can be any. Okay, I think I realized what I have done wrong, right? So this should actually look like something like this. So this would take in an object with a request and a secret, although like this, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay, so request is still any, but secret I think like it will now recognize that it should be a string. Okay, so that is good. Now let's take a look at token, right? So why is this not working? Because incoming message is any, right? Okay, and how do we define this? Can we do next API request? I think this should be fine. Let's see if it picks it up. No, it doesn't. Let's see here. Yeah, here it picks it up as well. So if I do like convert this into a string, why is secret throwing an error? Because it can be an undefined and it can be how do we make sure, right? Like let's say like we know that this will always be present, right? That should be fine. Not sure about this bit. This should always be there, right? Get token should be no, not that. This bit should say like the A part wouldn't work here because it should be a next API request. But let's restart it and then see. So if we go to I think it was delete instead. Yeah, let's see. So get token, no auto completion now. Yeah, it's doing any still. So let's go to the type definition. Can I import it? Let's see if I can import it. Import from next. Next API request, right? So something like this. Starting the server again. Going to delete. For some reason my type checking is really slow today. I don't know why, but it's slow. Okay, yeah, I think like as soon as I import, it throws error. So let's remove that import. Can we instead do this? Reference types for node, right? And do something like http dot incoming message. I think like this is just for type definition, but I'm not sure. Like maybe this would work. Okay. Something is up with the stream today. It's still not okay. Let's TypeScript definition import types. Okay. Yeah, this is what you do. I think yeah, this is what they recommend, right? So to reference another type definition file, let's see, like do we have if I go to node modules under types, do we have node installed? We do. Okay, so that should have actually worked. So how do we use it though? We do like a module d.ts. This is A, this is B, intended to use module B. So this is your module a.ts. Okay. Okay, so this is what they recommend, right? Like importing the d file. So this should are they saying that they should work here? They don't do this. let's do this. Let's go to delete, I think. Yeah, let's see like how they are importing here. Like, so they are exporting these types, right? So this is a d.ts file. So how are they importing type, and why is it not throwing errors for them? They are referencing node. They're using these types. Right, so incoming message is used here. They define an interface using it, right? So this should actually work in our case as well. So if we do an import, it should work. If we do like import from next and do a next API, what is it called, next API request, right? And this should be next API request, something like this. Let's close this. Let's restart the server. Let's see what error it throws in case any. Yeah, it doesn't import, like it doesn't, it's not really able to resolve after that for some reason. Yeah, let's take a look at definitely typed. My laptop is really slow today. Okay, let's make this bigger. Come on. Yeah, they're doing types here as well, like importing. They are importing this type one, and then from this importing connection options, for example. So all of this importing is working in their d.ts file. What does the tsconfig file look like? We are explicitly including this env.d.ts file. So here if we do this bit, do we have to do like a to the declaration also do a like export? What is default export here? It's not default, there's just a underscore default, which is also default export, so there's nothing specifically exported here. Is there a module that is created? No. How are they defining JWT? Right, so let's search for get open instead, which was used within the JWT package. There's no get token, but yeah, like this works, which I'm not really sure how it does, and it doesn't work then in our case. They do an export of next auth. What is next auth here? Is there a next auth here defined? So far nothing. Yeah, this is the next auth, right? So declare function. Okay, let's try that. So they are doing, okay, let's make this bigger once more. Where did that go? There was a export default, was it? Export default, yeah, export default, and then the declaration, right? So let's do the same thing over here. Do a export default But what would we export is the question, because like it's wrapped within a module, right? So that's confusing. Okay, let's try one more thing, like a so what if I do like explicitly import get token? I don't know, but let's see. Get token, no. So let's do import from come on, next.d.ts. From this we'll import no auto completion, but let's do get token as okay, and then we'll tell it that how do we type it out? Very obscure way to do it, but let's see. Yeah, it didn't work. Doesn't seem like that. It says it's a string. Yeah, it didn't work at all. Has no exported member. Get token. How come? GD. We have an export function, right? So this should be fine. Let me like take a look at the way the book does it. So they say like export a module and export a function from it called inspect, and they also import a React node from it, which they use in the type definition. So ideally this should work the way it was working. So I am not really sure. So this is fine. And yeah, the problem is this bit. If I comment this out, go to upload or rather delete is the one we are looking at. So delete this file. This continues to work, right? So like if I can jump to the definition as well. So okay. Yeah, let's import and type d.ts doesn't. I don't have any clue, so I'll just search for it. Hopefully we find something. Import class and definition files. I want to extend session, blah blah blah. Okay. I set the TS to generate definition files on compile. Now I have my user. Okay. So after 2 years of TypeScript development, I finally managed to solve this problem. Basically, the TypeScript has two kinds of module type declaration: local, normal modules, and ambient, global. The second kind allows you to write global modules declaration and that are merged in the existing module definitions. What's the difference between the d.ts files are treated as an ambient module, which is global declaration only if they do not have any imports. Okay, so in our case they have imports, so they'll be considered as local rather than ambient. So that's why we That's why all the solution we discussed doesn't work here. But formerly, since TypeScript 2.9, we are able to import types into global modules, declaring using the import syntax. Okay, this is something which is very new to me as well. And they're also doing like a namespace, but okay, let's try this. So they're suggesting import, but yeah, let's see. I don't know, this is very new to me, so let's try it out. So if we go back here, what they're suggesting is doing a import next, and from next they want us to do a next API request. Alright, so if I now go to get token, it is okay, it's typed to import next, which I'm not sure is correct. Yeah, this is the right way to do it. Release the recent version of TypeScript, blah blah blah. Yeah, people say that they are able to import it, so I'm not sure what version of TypeScript are we running, is something I want to know as well. Alright, so we are running TypeScript 3.9, which is like quite late than what they are suggesting. So yeah, let's go to delete once more, see what we are getting here. This is something we can get rid of altogether. Okay, coming back here. Okay, now it's throwing errors, right? Oh yeah, nice. So this is working. We learned something here, that we can do an import just by doing this, right? So that doesn't work, but this does work. So I think what I can do instead is do a HTTP and do a incoming message, right? So that should be it. Yeah, let's see now. Go to delete. So where is our token, right? So this takes in HTTP incoming request, so this extends that, so that should always work. Yep, does work. Nice. So we did figure out something there. This didn't work, but I think we found an alternate solution. Here they are suggesting again same thing. Okay, I think there was some way around it. Let's see our TS config. I think like it is like allow synthetic imports or something like that. Allow. Oh yeah. See, like let's see. So if I do like allow synthetic, there's some configuration I can't remember, but or I think like auto completion would allow us allow synthetic default imports. I'll make it true. Right. Let's try this out, right? So if I go to next, and if I do a import from HTTP, let's import incoming messages, right? And let's change this. So I'm just I'm not too sure, but hopefully this should work. So closing this out, opening this again, so that the server is able to pick it up. Let's see the types for a request. No, yes. Okay, no, doesn't work. All right, that is fine. We did try our best. So I think that should be alright. If I go back to next type definition, just let's do a from HTTP. We want to import incoming message, and I think that should be it. So this should type to, yeah, okay, this is fine. Now, okay, we have fixed the jot error here. I think this should apply globally. We don't need to do anything. Now let's rerun this. Let's see what other errors can we fix right now. Okay, okay, so okay, in the n file, expected type comes as a property secret, which is declared on the type. Okay, there's some issue with the type definition as well, so let's see. Let's scroll up to the very top. Or actually, since we are just working on it, let's actually look at it. So what is the issue here? It says that expected type comes from property secret, which is declared on the type this. Okay, I'm not sure what the error here is. Expected type comes from property secret, which is declared on the type this one. And what is the issue with that? I can't really tell. Okay, let's is there anything else that we can look into besides this secret? Okay, let's see, like, can we fix this secret thing as well? Let's make it number and then see what the error is. So yeah, it says number here. Type string or undefined is not assignable to number. Okay, which is fine. Let's make it string. Okay, is it a okay, I see what it means. How about we make it undefined here? Let's see, does the error go away? So yeah, it does go away, I think. Yeah, so but then we can't make it undefined, so yeah, let's delete this so the error would come back. Yeah, it does. It says like undefined is not assignable to type string, right? So let's fix these one by one. So the first one we have is in header. No, not in header. In fetch. So fetch secret right here. So we can tell it that we'll always have the secret. And similarly, where else, like update is one more file. Update is one more file where we are using secret. So let's make that. Let's make sure that it's present. And yeah. So what else does have it? Starting the server once more. Okay, so we have it in upload. Where 25. So that fixes that, I think. What else? I think we just have now just have this next auth client from where we are pulling a lot of things. So we are pulling use session, get session, sign in, sign out, provider, and yeah, that's it. So if we go to our package here, let's grab the whole thing. Let's put it here and then call it client. Right, so what kind of functions do we have here? So let's get rid of the whole body. So the first function that we have is let's do use session. Right, so it takes in something and returns void. Let's write them down all and then update them. So get session and what else? Sign in, sign out. So sign in, and then there's also sign out. What else? I think we have session and loading as well, which is coming from use session. Okay, that's a different thing. Okay, and then there's a provider as well. I'm not sure if provider is a function, but for now we just make sure that it is. Yeah, it says that it is actually. Yeah, I think like this is something we can fix. So let's start with use session. So use session returns a session back and loading back, right? So this doesn't take in any parameters, but then it returns back an array. So session would be a key value pair where there can be a key of type string, and then value would also be a string. This is the first thing, and this is a bit weird to type, but okay. So this is our session, right, of this type, and then loading would be boolean, right? So I think this is what it returns. Although we don't need to name these because this is an array, not an object. So I think this should be fine for use session. Yeah, but then it's saying that like is missing the following property in session from the type session. Okay, we have already defined a session, right? So let's see. Can we just use a session here? Can we just do session? No, not this session. So this is V8 AWS. Show me the local ones, man. No local ones here. So let's make it session. There was an error, right, where we saw that it has these properties. Does it tell us where it's coming from though? Okay, let's search for session. So we defined session somewhere here in the header. We have defined a session. It is not exported. So let's do like, okay, again we are running into that problem, but okay, let's try this. Import from, yeah, this is painful. So where is it? This would be components header, right? And then from this we want session. Let me go to the header. Let me export this. I'm not sure how this is not throwing errors, because up till now it wasn't exported. Let's go to instances where use session is used. So let's go to this one, for example. So what is the type for this thing? It says it's type of session, so that's good. And this should be boolean. Okay, nice. Okay, what else? So then we have provider and get session. takes in a context. And what is context is something we have to figure out. Okay, so this is on admin.tsx. So where is context? Context is already typed, I think, or it has some typings. So this is get server side props context and parsed URL query. Parsed get server side props context parsed URL query. Where exactly? In index.tsx. Okay, the same file actually. Yeah, get session. Let's do next. So we have get session somewhere here, and this returns back. So this would be import next. Get server side. Get server side context parsed. Oh, come on. Past, what is it? URL query, right? So something like this is what it would return, I'm guessing. But it's still throwing error that expected 0 arguments but got 1. Okay, so this actually wouldn't be the it gives us back the session, right? So this would be the input actually. So this would be context is this thing, and yeah, what exactly is it doing here? So this is let's do it right again. So I'm importing from next this thing called what is it called? Get, it's called something like context, I don't remember now. Server side props context, and then it has passed URL query, so that should be fine. Not sure about all of this, so let's go to the very end of this statement, and then it returns back a session. Alright, so something like this. Pretty sure none of this would work because we are doing imports again, and you see like client is now failing. This is not the best. This is really painful, like doing all of these imports. But yeah, I'll see like if there's a better way to do it. So this would be query past you. This comes from query string, let's say import query string, and then from that get this bit. Session is also not declared, so we'll have to import it. So this would be not that. So right here we'll do an import of, I think it was yeah, we are already importing it here, right? So yank it, paste this over here. I think this should be alright now. Yeah, okay. Now if we go to index.tsx, it says type string is not assignable to type user. Okay, what is this? Index.tsx line 51. Okay, upload takes in a user, it does it. Maybe the type here is wrong in that case. So this takes in prop. Okay, this should be a string, and we can also rename this to user ID to be more clear. So this would be user ID, and similarly this would be user ID. I think we should also update this is upload, right? So we should update upload endpoint to reflect that. Where does it take in the user? Here, right? So let's call this user ID. Where are we parsing it? Here. So this will become user ID instead. Okay, now it's still throwing an error saying that it says that is uploading string, set uploading, and all of that is user string is not assignable to type intrinsic attributes or props. How come like this suddenly became okay? I think like this because it's called user ID now, so that should be it. And the final thing that we have is a provider, and that's being used within underscore app. So provider cannot be used as a J6 component. Its return type is void, but it's not here. So it takes in children's, it takes in some options, so we have to define all of that, right? So it takes in an option object, a sessions object, and it returns back j6 dot element. So first of all, if we didn't do anything with the sign in and all of that, so that also need to be looked at. Oh, that's fine. So this would return back j6. Okay, we'll have to import that as well. This would be j6, I guess, dot. How about I do this and then let autocomplete figure it out? Didn't even import it. Not saying that. Does it say that it will export something? Yeah, it does say j6 dot element. Okay, so the import is working fine. That is good. What else? What else do we need? So this would take in some parameters, right? So this type children element and then all of this. Can we pass this here? Let's say like this takes in children. What does this complain now? Okay, yeah, it shouldn't be like this. It should be children, and then right here we define what children is. So it's like react dot element for a second, or let's do j6 dot element for a second. No, this won't be j6. We'll return back. This would just be react dot children. All I want to see is like it's falling in the right. Okay, so the other thing that it requires is option, and then option would be right here. If we see, option is an object which has right now client max age, that would be number, and then also a keep alive, which would also be a number, right? So that should be fine. Now it also needs a session, so that would come over here. Session, this would be session. Let's see, like, if this complains. I think it would. It says 0 errors found, but I think, yeah, this wouldn't work. Let's import session like this. What file were we looking at? So session is used, you're using provider, right? So let's look at underscore app, because this is the file we were looking at. Yeah, this is fine. So this is typed as well. Okay, yeah, sign in. I'm not sure like why how sign in is not working. Sign in, right? So sign in. So we are using sign in here, I think. Here. So on sign in, like we call this method. Yeah, I think like it does something internally. It doesn't return anything, so we don't need to worry about it. It right now is a function that it doesn't return anything, that doesn't take any parameters, so it's fine. So I think like with that right now we have figured out everything. The token bit is not strongly typed, but I think like that is fine, or let's figure it out as well, right? There's no harm in doing that. So let's see, like where are we calling get token, right? So somewhere there we can, so let's do it in delete or update. So let's log the token, and from that we can figure out the shape of it. Let's do this. Do we have a server running? We do. Let's restart this. Let's go over here. Let's refresh the page once. Okay, it's loading, taking a bit of time. Yeah, so go to admin. Let's add a capital H to this. Let's update. Yeah, this is our token, so we can use this, and then it gets updated as well. So okay, let's see, can I go into copy mode? Let's try. And then how do I copy? Do I do like enter? Does that copy? Yep, it does. So if I go to this session, we want to type it out, right? So let's go to this window right here. Let's define, no, not this one. Now we want to go to next.t.ts. So let's paste it here. The way I'll paste it is I'll paste it from the copy buffer. So this would be this thing, right? So let's call it interface token, right? And then this is a string. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. This is boolean, and this is a number. So instead of I'm saying that we'll get an object Okay, yeah, we can just say like delete around this thing, not that one. Delete around this, delete around the curly braces, and then just say like it returns a token back, right? So let's close all of this. Let's exit this window. Let's run npm run build. Hopefully everything should work. We should have typings for everything. Yeah, like this should be out of the way now. Why do we have this bookmarked? Okay, this is just one. Okay, it seems like we have everything working, so let's review the changes and commit it. So bytes is there, session is there, user ID, token, declaration, all of that. Okay, so I think like all of this looks fine. Like I want to do a few things here, like say for example do a check around the environment variables, like whether they are present or not, in case they are not, throw error immediately. But before that I actually want to check one thing. So imagine like if I go to bytes, right? So in bytes we have this interface called bytes I. Let's copy this and let's comment this out. So I think like it should start throwing errors, and let's see, it's npxts. Yeah, let's do a watch, and also let's do a split here. Oh, I meant a split actually. Yeah, let's do a split here, and let's open the next.t.env file. So yeah, so right now it's throwing this error that bytes I is not defined, so which is fine. Let's paste this. Do I not have it in my register? I don't, because I think I killed the window. So let's open it quickly. Bytes. Where is that interface? No, rather where is, let's go to bytes. Let's copy this whole thing, yank it over to this file. Let's paste it here. Let's uncomment it. I think we do need to export it, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so this is working fine, but then like we are getting this jot error again, so that is a problem. Can we not do this? Like what does it really want? If I uncomment this, yeah, this error goes away, but then like, yeah, I think this is still there. Weird, really weird. Like I'm not sure what is up with it. How about we go to bytes and then uncomment that back? Oh no, do we have any errors? Zero errors found, right? So yeah, I'm pretty confused actually. Let's see like the tsconfig file once. Yeah, this is included first. I'm not sure whether the order matters, but this is included first. So, and if I go back to next, let's see again. Does it throw any errors? Yeah, immediately it starts throwing errors. So it doesn't import automatically, does it? Okay, right now it seems it does. GD doesn't go to the definition at all. Says no definition found. Okay. How come it is not found though? Is what I'm wondering. Like bytes I is defined in this file. We are exporting the type as well. Do we need to declare it? Yeah, I think this wouldn't work. Is this valid? Yeah, doesn't work. So that means that the type isn't there. No, type is working now. So we need to use the declare keyword. Okay, so this sort of helps me with one of the things that I wanted to do is like move all the types to this type definition file. So let's get rid of this thing altogether. Do a shift V. So this type is fine, I think. No, it is not. Okay, it's like it's looking for module bytes. Okay, I'm just going to revert this for now. Let's not do it. I think I just want to wrap up now. It's already too late. So I think like the primary thing that we wanted to do is done. Right here we see like a any. This has to be fixed. So let's do a RG for any. Besides package log, do we have any other references? No, we don't. So let's fix this. It takes bytes, which is like bytes I, or bytes is bytes I array, and then children. Okay, I think the way we do it is we don't manually define children, we just do like functional. Let me import React first. Import from React, right? So we do functional component, right? So and then here we say like it's a functional component, and the props it has is what are the props? So it has bytes, which is bytes I array, right? And then we don't need to do this. I think that should be fine, although yeah, no, what happened? This should be fine, right? What is wrong with this? Expected. Did I miss something here? There are too many of these. Functional component has no corresponding closing tag. How come? Is it functional or rather a function? No, it's function component. Okay. React function component. I think this is how it is. Let's see. It says function component and then the prop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. My bad. I was typing it as a generic. It should be just this. Is it fine now? Okay. Now it's complaining that children if it's not really sure if you have children, it has children's or not, right? That is its problem, I think. And then what else? The expression is not callable, no constituent of type string, number or boolean, React element or any. Okay, so this is not something it's happy about. So So the children actually this is byte side. It's not really yet is children, right? So it says that the expression is not called a non-constant. So I think the children can be string, number, boolean, empty object, react element, props, and react element. Yeah, this is the signature, right? So it can take any props. No, or actually yes, this is what it is, right? So why doesn't this work? But we are passing this to it, right? So okay, yeah, this is eventually used then. So let's do like react render props TypeScript. So this is a video. Let's look at this, and this. Children, it says it takes in a props and returns a. Yeah, this is what we are doing, right? We are passing it a prop and returning this. So yeah, I think we had looked at this. This didn't seem the best. This is not helpful at all. Yeah. So counter props. No. So we want something that uses children. This doesn't use children. Okay, let me go back. I think like we have something. We might have something on this post. Yeah, I don't think they'll have on the React side at least. This is a class component, but yeah, I think the logic should somewhat translate. So okay, so far I haven't seen anything. Yeah, this is what we want, right? So what is the type in this case? It says it takes in mouse props and mouse state. So mouse prop, what is mouse prop? So have we defined mouse prop somewhere? Show me the mouse prop. Mouse prop is just a children. Okay, so here we don't do this, right? We don't do. So why is this complaining? Cannot find byte size. How come? Byte size is just byte I. Okay, it's not byte size, it's just byte I, which is fine. It's saying that like it. How about we do this here? So we say type props takes in bytes, which is byte I array, and then the other property is children. Children which takes in it takes in byte, which is of type byte I, and then in turn returns JS6 dot element, right? Well, I'm thinking that it could be just this. So clear till no clear equal to and then this would be just props, right? Not really. It doesn't seem like it's happy with this. It says that bytes is implicitly what's up? Okay, yeah, this won't come up here. This would be probably here itself. Somewhere here maybe. So how about that? Yeah, I think it's happy now. Let's run the compiler once more. Okay, hopefully it should just compile. Come on. Nice, it's compiling. I think there's a lot more scope of cleanup. But it's midnight here, so I just want to wrap up with this. Let's close this. Okay, let's take a look. So function component we imported in this thing, but did we use it? And if we didn't, why didn't it complain? Is something I'm wondering. No, we didn't use it at all. So we have bytes type, we are using that here. We are typing this byte. Do we need to type it out? I don't think so. So if we go to bytes, so in case I remove this, yeah, it knows what it is, so that's fine. So we have bytes here. This is the header file. We define the session here. This is fine. We define the header inputs. What file is this? This is upload. We define the props. We updated it from user to user ID, which is good. Then we updated the file that it consumes. Did my stream just die? No, it didn't. Okay. So next thing we have tokens. Tokens is fine, it's in the environment file. Then we have a few more things. We did the the Nextdoor packages for Jot and client. It's doing what we wanted. We did this byte interface here, so we can get rid of this. I'll come back to this later on, where we sort of pull out all the types out of the components and into a centralized place. Not right now. So we remove this thing. Then we have events on admin, so we type that out here, and we updated the set to the default value of 0. We removed this unnecessary line. We did set cookies to our default empty string. We explicitly said that we'll make sure that secret is there. What else? Yeah, we have this thing pending. But yeah, let's first commit everything else. Let me also remove this token from update method. What else? Is there anything else required? No. So let me go to the update method. Let's go to this line, remove it. Wait, so let's say, yeah, before I do that, let's go to fetch and let's remove this. So now let's see what error it throws in. Let's try to fix it. So let's get rid of all these type case ignores. Immediately it's throwing errors saying that user doesn't have type this thing. So Where does user come from? Property user doesn't have type, doesn't exist on type. Okay, and this is because this R is your table record, right? So your table record is actually something that has this I'm not sure like how it sort of figures out that it can have this ID. Let's go to this. Okay, it has this field, right? So how come? And what is T field? FD. Yeah, T field is just a generic on record, right? So we okay, I see. Like I think I know what to do here. We don't even need to do manually like add types. So you see, like all would also give us the same thing, right? So what if I do like pass it here, I think. So this is giving me this thing, right? Records. What if I tell it that it is no expected 0 arguments, got nothing. I want to type it some way. So let's go to this thing. Let's go to all. Does all take in? No, all doesn't take. Okay, that is the problem. Yeah, this is the problem. It doesn't take any argument as such. So if we go back here and it's giving me, what is it giving me back? Come on. Records is basically so what does it say? Airtable is not generic, right? So then how come it's saying that this is what it? Okay, it's airtable.records actually. Okay, cleartable space dot records, and then this has a T field. So this T field is a generic, and here we can define it. So what are we getting from this? Right? So it depends. But do we need to do it here? This is something I want to understand. Like, can I go to fetch where I'm using it? I'll say that like currently this is Airtable record, right? So you can say probably like Airtable table.record records actually, and then here we define the interface saying that it has this is just T field, so this would have a property called name, which is a string. So if we just do this, let's see what error it's throwing. So it's saying that record is not assignable to, okay, this thing is not, oh come on, property name is not missing, is missing on type this but required in type. Okay, although like you see, like if I do this thing goes away, right? So now I'm not sure like which one is because fetch all is returning this, right? So obviously yeah, this wouldn't work, but how about we update the source itself? Let's see if that works. So What if we type it here? We make it Airtable of records. So does this work? This does work, but now if we add properties to this name is a string, yeah, it starts complaining the same thing. Okay, now can we pass it some way, these types, because interface, it's a query that takes in. Okay, let's try this out. So I'm calling on select. Okay, going back to this again. Where is select? Select, right? Select is right here. How about we do it on select? So we'll select returns this thing. So this has a name which is string. Let's see. So what kind of record would it return back? Okay, it's throwing errors again. Expected 0. This is not really an argument, right? So okay, yeah. So how about here? Here it takes in a table name of string and then it returns. We can't type it here. We can't do it here either, I think. This wouldn't work. Pretty sure it wouldn't. I'm pretty sure getting the typing wrong is what I think. So on select, t field extends field set. And where does, so we have this base which comes from initializing. Okay, this comes actually from this base. So base doesn't have anything to do with the fields. Base just returns Airtable base. Right. Base is basically a table. Yeah, you see, like it's typed to this empty object. Table is fine, but then okay. Okay, so t field, we are explicitly saying that this extends field set. But we are also saying that it can be a key value pair. Alright, so that should have worked. How come it is not working? So why? Okay, let's try yours. This is not defined either. Fields, does it say field is not defined? It says field is defined, but it's not sure whether the property exists or not. T field is on record. All returns are record of fields. Query, interface query, all Table returns a query, right? So yeah, and table itself is used here. So imagine if the table is typed, because like table passes table takes in a string name, it returns a table. It should say like something like this, right? So T, and then there should be T here as well. I feel like that that is how it should be. It doesn't satisfy the constraint T fields. Okay, I see. Why? What? Okay, so it extends field set, right? So what does field set need? That field set is just an object with key as string, and then it can have any of these values. So it should have worked. Yeah, this is actually like this part is fine. Let's go back to it. See what it was doing there. I did close it though. Okay. So if we go back to fields, I think fields we can access, but then the problem is T fields, right? So the problem is this R. Okay, so what is I'm going to revert this file. This is for later. I can't really process right now, so I would like to take a break now. So let me copy this back, right how it was earlier. So with that I think we can commit this, so we can go to readme, go back, and add a X here. So this is done mostly. Okay, I think we are mostly done. So let's go back here. Okay, so let's see if there's a deployment happening as well. We'll just validate if things are working as expected, and then I'll just log off. Okay, there is an error. Any okay, didn't we fix this? This is on fetch, right? Line 29. Why? Okay. I think this should actually be here. Same thing here as well. Okay. Hopefully now it should work. So let's see, it's deploying again. I do want to, because it's been bugging me, I do want to fix that Airtable typings as well. The last thing that we were looking at, but yeah, let's do it in the next stream. Okay, yeah, I think the build is complete. I think it will just now push it and we should be able to look at it. Trace serverless function, compressed uploading build outputs. Okay. Now uploading the cache. Okay, how did we land there? But yeah, it's deployed, which is what we want. Let's take a look at few pages and validate if everything is working as expected. So I'm logged in, which is good. If I go to admin, I see this. If I add more ease to it, update it, this does update. If I refresh, this looks fine. If I delete this, this goes away. Let's go back to the home page. Hello, hey, what's going on? Upload. It won't show up here, but then it. Okay, how did it show up there? Oh, because I'm logged in, right? So let me sign out now. Yeah, you're not authorized on the admin page, which is good. Here I can, yeah, it all looks good to me. So it's working as expected. Type checking is working for most part as well. So yeah, I think with that we can wrap up. We are done. I think I'll work on these two bits. Testing, I'm not really sure whether I want to spend time there. I want to move to a different project and maybe do a project in Go next. So we'll prioritize and then maybe do it in one stream every week, work on tests, something like that, and then look into these other things as well. So yeah, I'll come up with a proper plan for this and get back to you guys. So thank you all. Bye.